Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about how to be the ultimate assassin in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, these are tips that I have found useful in my experiences of playing the game. Some of these tips should work, but if some don't, then it's obvious that we learn differently. The first piece of advice I can give is that you need to use the gadgets at your disposal. Now, that means don't go in guns a-blazing and all that, but please do be mindful of the things you have at your disposal. If things are difficult, do not be afraid to resort to using them, as they can be very reliable in sticky situations. Depending on the situation is what the gadget should depend on. So don't go in with a pistol if there are about 100,000 enemies, but try to scout around and use the grapple hook to sort of get over them if possible. The next piece of advice works well with your gadgets, which is time your attacks. Don't run in and attack them if you're not very good at combat, but instead try to scout around and try that might help you out a little bit. If you're struggling to pass your enemies, do not be afraid to use your stealth skills to lure them to a secluded spot and take them out one by one, which takes the stress off you, especially in a situation where you have to remain undetected or you fail the mission. The next thing that happens quite frequently in the game is causing fights. Try to avoid causing fights in large open spaces with loads of enemies, because, to put it simply, you're not going to win, especially if you're not max level. If you're max level, you might stand a chance, depending on the levels of the enemies and how many there are. But if you struggle with combat, do not start these fights, as they surely will get you killed. If you're skilled in combat, then by all means try your best. But believe me when I say it is not easy, but it's at least a little bit easier than Unity. Another point is always look for chests containing money and get the perk that gets money from every assassination as soon as possible, as that's going to help you when it comes to upgrading weaponry, as you're going to obtain money a lot easier, and it does cost quite a bit of money to get the good equipment. When you first start playing the game and get into the open world, I'd recommend assassinating every single enemy you see on the street, because that will help you get some skill points, which will help you level up by getting you some skill points, which will help you to do the leveling up by getting upgrades and etc. Do that and you'll get to max level, which is level 10, a lot sooner, and believe me, it is helpful. Otherwise you could be spending hours and hours and hours leveling up just to be able to play the main story of the game. Another thing that will help you level up quicker is the side missions. If you see a side mission that will be easy to do, do it. Do it and get it out of the way, because believe me, it will help you with the main story and it'll help you level up to be able to play the game better and be better at the game, because your character's more overpowered. Well, overpowered being a strong word, your character's more powerful. So the more powerful your character, the easier the game gets. So try to make your character as powerful as possible to make the experience as easy for you as it can be, because trying to do a level 10 mission when you're level 7 is going to be really hard. Believe me, I've tried. The next tip's going to help you out in combat a lot. Try to stay as calm and as focused as possible. The calmer you are, and the more focused you are, and the more relaxed you are, the easier it will be to keep your streak. If you get one hit on you, it's likely to damage your confidence, which will result in another hit and another one and another one, which will ultimately leave with you defeated. So try your best to avoid doing that. As an assassin, it is ideal to be aware of the surroundings you're entering, especially in a restricted area where people are after you or are willing to attack when they detect you. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be aware of what you're entering, how you're doing it. Eagle vision is a very good way to mark where your enemies are and where they're going, and avoiding them or picking them off one by analysing their patrol route is a very good way to sort of, get their attention. Well, not their attention, but you know what I mean. To get at them and to win, especially if you're a low level, stealth is the key. And it requires patience, and that patience means analysing your surroundings until you have a good idea of what you're going to do, because if you go in recklessly, you're probably going to be detected. My next tip is quite an important one for stealth people who prefer stealth. That is to use corners, hiding spots, crowds, and so on and so forth to your advantage. Blend with crowds. Try to avoid being detected that will help you at low level, especially if you're entering a high level area and want to do something there, though I don't recommend doing that until you're a high level. Only do things when you're ready to do them. That is my next point as well. But back to the point before, use ledges, corners, cover, hiding spots to your advantage to basically win. So like I'm doing in the video here, I'm avoiding detection by analysing routes and then using corners to my advantage and etc. And it pays off quite well. That's what you need to do essentially, because if you don't really do that, then they're going to detect you and you're going to be in a fight, and if you're at a low level, lower than the level of the enemies that are attacking you, or a lot of them, you're essentially screwed. My next point is upgrades. Upgrades to Jacob and Evie. You need to use them in order to level up, so get them as soon as you can, and if the high level ones, save up if you want a high level one, and don't be afraid to just do some extra side quests to level up appropriately. So that means you might want to be spending time in the open world doing side quests, killing random people of your level, getting into fights, air assassinating, all that type of stuff, which will help you level up, which, believe me, in the long run is really effective, especially from the main missions, as they do get fairly difficult around sequence 6 or 7, and definitely sequence 8, so that is definitely something that you'll want to be doing. My last tip is quite an important one depending on your perspective, and believe me, it's very simple. If you've ever heard the saying, sometimes things have to get messy before they get better. Basically, I'm going to apply that here. Don't be afraid to go backwards to venture forwards. If you can't go one way, go back, find another way. In stealth especially, this is going to help you, and if it's combat's too hard, that will also help you find another route, and if it's the only way, well then I don't think you can apply this logic here, but you can hang back and use your gadgets, which means you can make things a little bit messy before going to the next thing. It will not like ban you from playing the game forever and ever and ever. So, anyway guys, thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoy. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends about the channel as always, and I'll see you all in the next one with another video and all that good stuff. But anyway, it's goodbye from me for now, so be sure to subscribe. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers, and it'll be amazing if we hit it before New Year. Thanks guys. So yeah.